What up, guys? I'm not sure if it's better with headset or not. A couple of lives ago, it was better with. I've been told last time it was better without, so let me know. I want to hear where you guys are joining from. I'm so excited. I haven't done a live in maybe a week, so I seriously miss you guys. And guys, if you haven't seen one of my Q&As before, I love doing face-to-face questions. So if you want to join me on this live, put in a request. The only thing I do request is be prepared. Sometimes when I join, it's like the camera's facing the ceiling, and then have your question ready. But yeah, I really do prefer and enjoy that. So, all right, what up, Los Angeles? Got some people joining from LA. Let San Diego up in the house. What up, bad jewellery? Cool. All right, so if you're ready, I got some questions. Let's dive in. I've got my first question. All right, this is from, bear with me while I find the question. I'm so loving that you guys do submit questions, by the way, and I like to do the stickers at the bottom. That way people can actually read if they're joining at any point. But I don't know, is that, I am not very good at this though. So, and in fact, this is a great time to show how not to get flustered when you're not really knowing what you're doing. And if you are prepared and then you think you're prepared and you turn up and you realize, oh shit, I'm actually not prepared at all. So that is me right now. And so I'm just addressing it. That's one thing that I do, that if I don't know what I'm doing or if I'm failing, I just actually say it out loud. I used to be the person that would hide and not say anything and I hope no one realizes that I'm actually not good at this. And now I actually just lean into it. It brings down my anxiety. I don't get flustered. I don't feel shitty about myself. I'm just like, hey guys, bear with me while I'm trying to figure it out. So that's actually real time how I do things like that. All right, and I've got a question. I've got so many questions. I can't find the question. Oh God, this lady who I freaking admire has written a lot of questions. All right, I can't find the question, so I'm just actually just going to answer because I don't want to bore you guys. So the question was, how do you separate emotion from logic and reason, especially when making a decision? All right, so here's the thing. I personally cannot separate my emotions with a logical reasoning. And I've just how many times do I have to be in that situation to go, yeah, Lisa, you're not good at it. Every time I try, when I'm in my heightened emotion, I use my tactics and my strategies that I've put into place. And then it ends up not really working because I'm so emotional. I'm just gonna tilt this down because my headroom is horrendous. Oh, and I'm wearing shorts. So what I do is I just realize, I didn't beat myself up over it. I just realized, okay, Lisa, you're not very good right now when you're emotional to get the logic out of it. Okay, if I know that about myself, what can I do and what can I do differently that is going to get me the result that I want? All right, well, how many times do I have to be in that situation to say, hey, this isn't working? So I go, okay, I know I can't make logic decisions while I'm in emotional. Great. So just don't freaking make logic decisions when you're emotional. So when you're emotional, Lisa, tell yourself this isn't the time to make a decision. And then give yourself the grace. But what I do is I can't stay there. Because what I used to do back in the day, I would play sad music and I would just emphasize and really lean into that emotion. And that didn't serve me. I would end up over time, I would be it would take me 1 day, 2 days, 3 days to get out of that emotional turmoil. So now what I do is I don't lean into it. I do other things that try and distract me, like fun music. But even if I'm not in the mood for that and I'm just pissed or I'm sad or I'm emotional, I just say, cool, give yourself a time limit. What is the time limit? 20 minutes, an hour, feel sorry for yourself, let yourself be emotional, do whatever you need to do. And then when it's over, freaking stop. Switch that mindset and go, cool, I've allowed myself to lick my wounds. Now I gotta get up because if I don't freaking get up, I'm not gonna get to my goal. So I push myself to get up. I then get up and that's when I go, cool, I'm actually not emotional anymore. Now I can look at the facts. It comes to the facts. What are the facts about this situation? Then I can look at it without bringing my emotion into it. But you have to first get the emotion out of it. So I personally have never learned on how to be emotional and come up with a logical decision at the same time. And so I'm like, cool. What my new strategy or the strategy I do now works for me. So I've just kept doing that. All right, gonna do some shout outs. It's from San Diego, Canada, Philadelphia, France, Sweden, India, Florida, Bosnia, and Herzegovina. Wow, I've never even heard of where is that? Is that in Bosnia? That's so freaking amazing. Please let me know where that is. I'm actually not very good at geography, but yeah, would love to know where that location is. All right, so I'm gonna do a video question. If you guys have requested to join, let's see who has requested. And do you have a question? Oh, wait a second. Wait a second. I may know this human being. Is she there? Is she there? Is she there? Bear with me, guys, because if she's there and she joins, this is going to be fire. Come on. Waiting for Dinah. Nope. All right. So if she ain't going to join, then I'm going to go to somebody else. That was sad. I'm going to surprise you guys. I'm not going to tell you who it is. Okay, here we go. How do you stay motivated to work out when you don't see the results and desires? So I used to be the person that would force myself to be on the treadmill no matter how no matter how tired I was. I wouldn't listen to my body. I was like, if you don't do 30 minutes, you're worse. Like, if you don't do 30 minutes, like, are you really telling yourself that you don't want to, be fit? That was the terrible internal dialogue that I used to have with myself. And so I would beat myself up. I would feel guilty if I didn't go to the gym. And the sad news is that would make me less motivated the next day, and less motivated the next day after that, because I was forcing myself to do it when I didn't really want to do it. So I started to realize that I was actually focusing on the wrong thing. First of all, I was focused on, did I go there, yes or no? And then how long did I run for? Like that. How many calories did I burn? That was my focus, and it wasn't motivating. It wasn't encouraging. It wasn't pushing me to keep going. So I realized, just like with business, just like in life, you have to. So like, in fact, but business, perfect example. Stop chasing the money. Chase the fulfillment in what you do. Stop chasing the money, and the money will eventually come. But if you don't have fulfillment, forcing yourself to get up every day just to earn another dollar, it won't stick with you. It won't stick with you on days that you're tired and you're pissed off or you're exhausted. Like, that shit won't happen. So for me, it's like, instead of focusing on the external, right? Like I need to go to the gym so that my body looks good. It's very external. I can't relate to that emotionally. So for me, anytime I lack motivation, I have to connect emotionally to what I want to be motivated towards. So like, for the instance, the gym, it's like, instead of now looking at my body, I'm like, how do I feel? When I lift weights, I feel powerful. It is no one else is there. No one else can help me. I'm either lifting that weight or I'm not. I either was lifting it the day before, or, I'm either doing it or I'm not. And so when I go, cool, Lisa, you just curled 20 pounds. That's freaking amazing. Next week, I'm going to curl 20 pounds again. Freaking amazing. Now I feel good about it. Then I get excited. Ooh, what would happen, Lisa, if I curl 22.5 pounds? Can I do it? And now I'm challenging myself. I'm getting myself excited about it. I'm connecting my emotion to it. Because if I'm just saying, are you getting up and working out, Lisa? It doesn't push me to do it. So I would say right now, what is the thing that is exciting for you to work out? Because every day you will not see the results. It's like mindset and growth in mindset. Everything that I'm saying right now, if there's a tip that you guys have taken from this live, for instance, and you take the tip and you go and implement it tomorrow, it's not a one and done thing. You're going to have to consistently do it in order to get to that place. So for me, I've worked on finding what that motivation, emotional connection is for me, attaching myself to it, reminding myself of that every day. And then it becomes a habit that I now just automatically, like, I literally don't even think about it. I don't think about whether I'm going to work out today or not, because I've used my emotion to get me excited. That's developed into my habit. And now I've just got a habit, and I wake up every day and I work out. So there you go. Mic drop. All right, next question. I'm going to see if this person is still here to join, and this is going to be the last time, and shame on you if you're not there to join, and I can actually explain why I'm all right, everybody, this is my mom. What up, Diana, sweetie pie? Mom, move the camera up or down, I should say. No, the other way. Sorry, my mistake. Keep going down, down. No, the other way, woman.
Which way?
Down. There. Keep going. Keep going. There it is. All right, so I'm going to put a question underneath your chin. But for now, thank you for joining, everybody. This is my mum. This woman, which, total side note, has lost 100 and how many pounds?
16 pounds.
116 pounds. She's about to turn 70 years old. And she's just lost it. So actually, Mum, I was talking to you earlier. So me and my mum, I called you up this morning just to say hi. And I was like, Mum, if you want to, why don't you come and join? I was like, come and join. She's like, well, what am I going to ask you? And I was like, I don't know what you're going to ask me. But in the last 30 minutes, since I dropped the phone to you, Mum, and now you're on, I'm actually going to change it up on you. And this wasn't a trick. I promise you it wasn't a trick, but I'm actually going to change it up on you. Because you may ask me a question, which, hey, I really hope it's valuable for my audience, but I actually think the most impactful thing that you can tell people right now is how the hell, at the age of 70, were you able to shift your mindset and go from someone who once upon a time used to say, I mean, growing up, right, you were very underweight and then you went very overweight, and now you found a really healthy balance on exercise and eating right in your 70s. So I hear a lot of women that say it can't be done. Like, I don't know, you know, like it's too late. Used to say to me, diets don't work.
True.
So what happened, and I get it, in fact, I'm going to keep going. I get a lot of questions. I'm hearing an echo actually on your end.
Oh, no?
No?
Well, I don't, you know me, I'm not technical. I don't know if there's a...
And if you're watching, get my mum some earbuds because I can hear some echo. But you know, while you do that, I'm going to say, so you used to say to me, diets don't work for me. I've tried everything. So A, I want to know what shifted. And then B, a lot of people, when I told your story on my Instagram, a lot of people said to me, how do you get your mum, spouse, loved one, friends to change? And the truth is, I try to help change you by throwing money at the situation. I desperately tried and I wasn't able to. So my response to people is they have to want it. So can you give the audience watching right now 2 things? How on earth did you change your mindset? What do you feel like was that catapult? And then second of all, how do you make sure that you continually doing it? And then what advice can you give people that may want to help change or influence their partner, mum, sibling?
Well, I mean, it's, well, wow, you got me there, didn't you?
I did. Putting you on the spot.
It got to the stage, I think, in my life where I'm getting older and I'm worried about my weight, which I've always worried about anyway. But so I thought to myself, you know what, I want to live longer than I'm going to live if I carry on the way I am, which I'd never really seriously thought about. But as you get older, you kind of think about things like that, you know? So, yes, you tried to do everything you could to make me lose the weight, and I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Then I started, you know, I was paying attention to all your Women of Impact and Tom's videos that he does, and it kind of gave me a strength to kind of think, you know what, I'm going to give it another try, but I don't actually expect that I will go any further than 3 weeks, 4 weeks maximum, because that used to be my limit. I would try to do the diets, do the healthy options for that amount of time, and then after that I would just go back to doing what I normally did. I don't know, for some reason this time, with listening to you and Tom and my partner too, just thinking about the future more than anything.
So would you advise people to scare their parents? I mean,
no, because unless you do it yourself and you're ready to do it, you won't do it, no matter how many, you know, I did all the normal things. Oh, I'll start on Monday, or I'll wait, I'm going to have a holiday in a couple of weeks, so I'll wait until I come back from the holiday. All those kind of things that you throw out there to make excuses as to when you're going to start and everything. This time, There was no excuses, nothing. I just thought to myself, have a go. And after 3 or 4 weeks, I started walking. Now, I couldn't walk 200 yards down the road without having to sit down and take a breath and be tired. And knew that if I carried on like that, my lifespan was going to be very, very short. But I did a little bit every day and a little bit further every day. And I decided, instead of eating the usual rubbish things, that I would try and grab a piece of fruit, or I would try, and it just worked up from then. And then I got a momentum going that I was really pleased that I wouldn't weigh myself every day. I made sure it was like 2 or 3 weeks in between. And I was losing 3, 4, 5 pounds every time I weighed myself. And that just gave me even more momentum. And then I started, you know, putting on clothes that were smaller than the huge clothes that I was wearing. And that gave me momentum because I liked what I saw.
I just want to interrupt you there, because what's amazing is you're doing the opposite to what you had done the opposite to what I actually would have recommended, right? To kind of say like, well, it's only going to be 3 weeks. That you didn't set a big goal. You didn't like, which is amazing. It almost seems like you set yourself up for failing by saying, well, I'm only going to be doing it for 3 weeks. So that's so fascinating that in probably not putting pressure on yourself, is that what maybe then led you to keep going, instead of saying like, all right, I'm going to go on a diet, I'm not going to, you know, eat junk, it's going to be, you know, I'm going to lose 100 pounds. So like that weight that can bring somebody can be crippling. So do you think that in removing that weight and basically saying, I'm going to do a couple of weeks and I'm going to see, helped you get to where you are?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It was just a case of, okay, well, I've gone this far. I'm feeling good. I seem to be getting better. I'm losing the weight. I'm walking. I'm doing all the things that, you know, are helping me. And it just carried on. I can't explain why it worked this time and it didn't work for however many years.
All right, for people watching, because I want people when they join us to get context, I'm trying to write these little post-its that people, and I just wrote that backwards because I just realized it's a mirror. So I'm actually glad. It's quite impressive, actually. So you lost 115 pounds. All right, so we've got a ton of questions coming in. I'm so sorry. Are you okay that I just put you on the spot here, woman?
You did put me on the spot.
For everyone watching, my poor mum had no idea I was doing this, and it was just like last minute. So a couple of things that people are asking is, did you have weight loss surgery? And then another person saying, how long did it take? So are you open to talking about the weight loss surgery issue?
I didn't have weight loss surgery.
But we had discussed it.
Well, it was one of the things that I'd got to the stage in my life when I thought that's the only thing that's gonna to have a band. You know, because I thought that is the only way that I'm going to lose the weight, and all my family were dead against that, including you.
I've written this back.
And so I only through pressure from all of you, I decided not to do that, because that was the only reason I didn't do it. But it was the only thing that I thought would help me. I had to lose the weight somehow.
And that was, I mean, you know, for people watching, you know, this is, I so respect you for being so open and talking about this. But one thing really was that, you know, you had basically said, hey, I really want support. And you're my mum. Like I the fear of, God forbid, something happened to you, I was very torn, because it's like, I didn't want to support you, because if you were under the knife at your age, it was very risky. And so I was super tense about saying, yeah, I'll support you, because then I would have felt, God forbid something happened, I would have blamed myself. But at the same time, I never want you to feel like you have children that don't support you, because you've been there for me my entire life. So that was really hard for me to really navigate. But like my mum had said, guys, if you're just watching, is that she had watched a lot of content. Now, great that it was Women of Impact and Impact Theory, but it's a great way. Do you think people should maybe share content obviously it doesn't have to be women of impact or impact theory, but send things to their parents as a, hey, I saw this, I saw that. Like, do you think that that would help? Or do you think that, like with you, you had to get to the point where you just had enough and no one could have helped you get there except for yourself?
I think, it's down to, as children say, stop nagging me, mum, and stuff like that. It felt like, in the nicest way, that, my partner never, ever said anything bad about my weight increasing on a regular basis. But it's a case of, you just don't want to, you don't want to accept that what your children are saying is, that's what I should be doing. You have to make the decision yourself, ultimately. And if you don't really want to do it, but you're doing it because your children are saying it, even for the best reasons possible, which obviously, I think all children want their parents to live as long as they possibly can. But, as you get older, that is such a reality. And to me, that was in the back of my mind all the time. I want to spend an extra 10, 15 years with my family and my loved ones, rather than, be obese, which is what, I hate to say the word, because I hate the word itself, obese, but that's what I had become. And
it was very hard for me, because it's like, I love you so much. I never ever wanted you to feel like you were never good enough. And that was a really fine line for me to have to make sure that I walked in, letting you know it is about your longevity, and that is it. I do not care how much you weigh if it didn't have an effect on your lifespan. And that was really hard for me to navigate, because I wanted you to know how much I loved you. And look, I didn't want you to feel shitty about yourself by me saying, hey, mum, maybe you need to lose weight. And so it was very difficult. It was like, how do I frame it that it's not about the way you look, and how can it be about, hey, I want you to be around when, Tom and I are in our 50s, and I want you to be around when this happens. And it's like, I'm gunning for an Academy Award. In fact, that's another thing that I hang over my mum's head. I'm gunning for Academy Award. And it's like, I'm like, mum, you got to be around, because I want you to come with me to the Oscars so you could be in the audience and see me win. So it's like taking the thing that is emotionally connected to them and like figuring out the words. But ultimately, I do definitely think it comes down to the fact that you were so incredible that you yourself told yourself, I just have to do this.
Yeah, what else can I say? I'm very happy. I'm very happy in myself. I walk every day, and I'm careful of what I eat. When we go on holiday and stuff, I always spoil myself. So there's, you've got to. You can't just strictly. I did for the first. It took me more than 18 months to actually lose the weight, and I've held it off now for nearly 2 years. So it's I'm very happy, and I'm very.
I'm
now,
so freaking.
You didn't get my question though.
I actually didn't get her question. No, I know. I totally derailed us for 30 minutes.
Did. But you should go and answer.
I'm going to go and answer some more questions. Yeah, appreciate it.
I love you very much.
Talking. I love you too. Thanks for staying and giving your words of wisdom to everyone.
I love you, darling.
All right, Mum. Love you too. Bye.
Bye.
Oh my God, that was so amazing. I spoke to her this morning and I told her to join. All right, what up, guys? I am going to be joining or answering other questions. And so either do a sticker question, or if you want to join me, you can join me in the video. All right, here we go. How to find your interests. I have no hobbies. This is super interesting, because it's kind of like saying, I don't like movies. I think the truth is you just have to find the movie that you like. So it's never going to come to you. That's the thing, right? In fact, this is a perfect example and a what's the word, a mirror of passion, where people are like, how do I find my passion? I don't have a passion. And the truth is, you have to try things. Think about as a kid, right? We would try a million things. Your mum may take, or your parents may take you to piano lessons or soccer or basketball or, you know, knitting, whatever it is. But as a kid, you would try all these freaking different things. And then as a kid, there would be something that you would hopefully have naturally have gravitated towards. So for me, it was drawing. I tried a million different things, but every time I drew, I freaking loved it. So what did I do? Once I started to like it, I started to do more and more of it. Then it became my hobby. So that's why now I love to draw. But as adults, we forget about the place where we allow ourselves to play. It's the same with passion. You're never just going to freaking find passion. You have to cultivate it. You have to try things and then see if you actually like it. And if you do like it, does it spark something in you? And if it sparks something in you, then you do it more and more. Then it becomes a passion or a hobby. But never, I think the misconception is that we should either have it like, oh my God, I don't have a hobby. Well, the truth is you're not going out and experimenting. Same with passion. And so don't feel bad about it. Write a list of all the stuff that you were interested in. Mildly, it doesn't have to be big, mildly interested. You know, try puzzle, try learning something, try learning a language, try, you know, Uno, card game, you know, like whatever it is, try a bunch of things, make a long list and go through them and give yourself the leeway, like we did with kids, to have fun, to play, to see what felt great, and then keep doing more of that. But you're never going to find your hobby unless you start experimenting and trying a bunch of things, even things that you think are crazy. Those are actually things you should be trying, because you've tried everything that has been that surface level interest. So I would just say, go deep, try a bunch of things, allow yourself time to fail a million times or hate stuff a million times, and then eventually, hopefully, you will find something that is super interesting to you. All right. Let's have a look more. In fact, I'm going to ask someone to join. Let's have a look. Who wants to join? I'm just interested enough that your tag that says, all right, hang on. Guys, if you want to join, by all means, hello.
Wow, I'm so blessed. You chose me. That's crazy.
I did. I saw the production part in your name, and I was super intrigued.
Wow, yeah. I don't even know what to say, but you and Tom.
What's your name?
My name is Jacob. I'm in Orlando, Florida.
Well, hello, Jacob. How are you holding up there?
Good. I'm well. I just got to say that you and Tom are very admirable and inspiring to me. I got put on you guys a little over a year ago. I started listening to your guys' podcast and started developing a growth mindset, and I'm always, you know, doing what I got to do every day. So
that's awesome. Well, so happy to meet you.
Yeah.
What's your question? By the way, I love your ceiling. What on earth is going on there?
It's a tapestry. So
that's so freaking cool. It looks like lights, kind of like in the Venetian in Vegas, like in the.
Yeah,
so cool.
It's the lamp, so
that looks dope, dude.
Creates a vibe. Yeah.
Yeah.
So my
what's your question?
So I'm working on. I'm a business owner, you know, self-employed. I haven't worked a job in probably over 3 years, and wanting to build a massively successful business, but also finding the time to cultivate and build a successful and happy relationship. Mm-hmm. So I, you know, like I said, super admirable to what you and Tom have built, and you guys have an amazing relationship, and you posted up there. So I'm just, you know, if you have any advice on finding the time to, you know, I know that we find time for things that matter in our lives, and just, you know, how do you guys work on that and balance that to be able to, you know, have the things that you want and the relationship while also building the business?
Yeah, great question. So initially, Tom and I, because we had started to work together, that was actually a great way for us to also. So when we started Quest, I had a fixed mindset, and over that time, I started to learn a growth mindset. I started to work with Tom. I started to establish who I was. So like everything was kind of going together. Like my growth, my relationship with him was starting to build even more as a business, and then our business was building. So, but in your situation, I think it really does come down to, so just what is priority? When it comes down to it, like when the shit is hitting the fan on both sides, your relationship, on your business, which is priority? Because you have to own that decision. And then I think your partner, you have to be clear with them about that. So if your partner is the most important in your relationship, is the most important thing, then amazing. But it also needs to have, like Tom and I do rules of engagement. We don't leave anything up to emotion. So we have rules of engagement. So even though I'm Tom's number one, I would never, ever ask him to not be ambitious. Right? Because it's like I fell in love with a man that was ambitious. So even though I'm his number one, and if I said, hey, I need you, he would come because we've decided our relationship is more important than business. I will never abuse that. And I will never say, but you said that I was your number one, so why aren't you here when I need you? You have to show respect on both sides of it. So we were very honest of our priorities, and then we laid out what that exactly means. So even though I'm his number one, on a daily basis, business is number one. So it's kind of like when it shit's hitting the fan, when you have to really ask yourself, what is the most important? You have to put there. But on a daily basis, I am not his priority. And he's not my priority. I'm doing this. I work, right? So when I think about how much time I actually spend with him in a day or in a week, I spend now, because we're quarantined, I actually spend a lot more time with him. But I mean, I was maybe before quarantine, we would hang out Saturday. I live with a man. We work together. And I only hung out with him on a Saturday. Now, on the surface, that doesn't seem like, but Lisa, you said that your relationship is priority. It is, because when shit hits the fan, I'm never going to put my business ahead of my husband. But my business is important to me. And so I'm not going to demean it. I'm not going to neglect it. I'm not going to pretend it's not important. And so Tom and I sat down and said, okay, our business is important. And we decided as a team, I support him, he supports me on the importance of the business. And so on a daily, we wrote down, what does a Wednesday look like? And a Wednesday looks like I do my thing, he does his, and hey, if we have time to hang out, amazing. If not, then I'll see you at 9 o'clock at night when we climb into bed together. And so we're very clear about what that looks like on an every single day basis, and then making sure that the other person doesn't abuse the fact that maybe you put your relationship first, or hey, maybe you don't. And you have to be honest with that, and you have to really assess, because I don't know how close you are in your relationship. Like, is it a girlfriend? Are you married? Or, boyfriend, partner, whatever. Are you married? Because also that makes a difference, and it depends on how committed you are to the person and how committed you are to your business. Like, is this business your forever business? Is this partner your forever partner? So really making sure you're assessing all of those, and then just getting very real about what a Monday looks like, a Tuesday looks like, a Saturday looks like, what is acceptable in your relationship. So if Tom and I didn't agree, our day is once a week, you can imagine for me, if we didn't actually agree to that, I'm going to be like, I don't ever see you. But now that we've agreed, I'm like, oh babe, I can't wait for Saturday. It's just a different approach.
Okay. Yeah, that definitely very helpful. So yeah,
it's definitely not easy, and it definitely comes with navigating. And there have been times where, Tom and I have been put to the test, and Tom and I have been put to the test on what actually is more important, and it's like, in those moments, you will either prove that you're a person of your word and what you had, agreed with your partner beforehand, or you're not. Or you're going to say, hey, I didn't expect this to happen. So even though we've agreed on this, this is a moment that my business needs to come first. And having those discussions with your partner, I think, will bring you closer, versus just being like, what the fuck is your problem? I told you I've got to go to work.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm definitely I hear you. I'm definitely very, open about it, and she understands that, I'm passionate about what I do, so I
And
just
then the
don't
one
want to
as it,
get to that point, it's kind of
yeah.
doing the work up front.
And then the one key I would say also is give your partners the keys to the kingdom. So with your partner, say, look, I'm going to be working a lot. I've got this new project. I'm going to be gone for months. I'm going to be distracted. You may be talking to me. So, hey, I want to make sure let's have a rules of engagement. If you're feeling like you're really burning out, please let me know and say to me, babe, I need a date night. Like, come up with a phrase so that she doesn't feel like it's building up, or he, sorry, I always assume, but like that person is like building up inside, right? And they're feeling like, I can't even tell them, but no, I'm going to support them. And then they freaking erupt, right? That doesn't lead anywhere good, because they're going to erupt at the end, be like, I've tried to be understanding, and it's been a month, and now I'm just neglected, and I don't feel loved, and it becomes this big argument. Instead, say, hey, when you start to get that feeling inside, like, hey, you miss me, or that we're not connecting, I really need you to tell me. I give you permission. I want you to tell me, but say it in a lovely way, right? What are the words that are going to make you respond? So for me, it's babe. So saying a word that's very sweet. It's touch. So I would want him to come up to me and be like, babe, I love you, but I miss you. We're not spending enough time together. I fear this could go down a path. So why don't we block an hour, 2 hours to really connect? That way you're not getting all the way to like, oh my God, how do I ever unwind this, because they've been sucking it up for months and months. That just, again, leads into absolute disaster.
Got it. Yeah, yeah. Thank you. It's all very new for me, so it's a new relationship, and actually, I mean, it's going well, so no complaints, and very,
Cool.
communication is great, very understanding and supportive. So it's, everything that I could ask for. It's just I definitely am, I guess it's something that I've always thought about, finding the right person to accept that, and I am very ambitious, and I'm gonna go after what I want. So
And I love that you're addressing that at the beginning of the relationship, because that's also going to be important. And with Tom, he literally, on our first date, he pretty much told me two things. I'm always going to be ambitious, and I'm always going to want sex. Like, those were you think I'm joking, but those were actually the two things that he said. And I was like, cool, you set the stage. Like,
yeah,
so there's no like, oh my God. And look, even if you do change, I think we need to give our partners a massive space to change and evolve and stuff like that. But be upfront with your partner, right? Let them know from now, look, I've got a goal, I've got a dream. I would love for you to be a part of it as we get more and more serious. But I want you to know, no matter how serious we get, this business is always going to be important to me. And I want to be with somebody that can respect that, understand that, and work with me on that. Like, lay that shit down from square one, because you don't want anyone to be like, oh, I thought that we were going to be like this and now we're not. It's like, don't, and don't worry about turning them off at the beginning, because here's the thing, if they get turned off by that, you don't want to be with that person for the next year, 2 years, 3 years, because they're not going to support your business dream.
yeah, right, exactly.
Well, thank you so much for the question.
Thank you.
Lovely meeting you, sweetie.
Yes, thank you so much, and
My pleasure, my dear.
keep the work, and I'll be listening from a distance. So
Thank you, dude. You take care. Stay safe over there in Florida.
yes, you too. See ya. Thanks.
Bye. All right, guys. So if you're just joining, if this is Q&A, I will answer anything you want me to answer. I am doing sticker questions, and I'm inviting people to come and join. So come on down. It's funny. I just got slapped a question from the guy that I just joined. All right, here we go. I love this question. My partner doesn't have the same ambition and drive as me. What should I do? So I'm actually going to give you advice from the person who has less ambition and less drive than their partner. So freaking my husband's drive and ambition is so crazy out of this world that for so long I tried to keep up. Like, I legitimately tried to keep up. I tried to keep up with the hours he was doing. I tried to keep up with the energy that he has. I would start to feel guilty if I was watching The Real Housewives or if I was watching Jersey Shore, my two guilty pleasures. I literally was feeling guilty because here I am watching this and he's over there reading books, looking at studies, interviewing, reading stuff. And I'm like sitting there going, oh my God, I'm watching the Jersey Shore and loving it. And like, I feel really bad that I should be pulling my weight. And so I just started to feel bad about it. So over time, in case maybe people do or don't know about my health, but I've had massive health issues. So I look at my health issues and go, I did it to myself. Like, the most beautiful thing is me to take ownership over the fact that I ruined my own health. Now, the reason why that's beautiful is now I can change it. I can look back and say, what did I do before? And how did it lead me to that place? And now what can I do differently? So I look back and go, oh my God, I was living in constant anxiety and fear that I wasn't going to be able to bring enough to the table, because here Tom is freaking a beast, bringing incredible value. And so if he's running at 100% all the time, I felt like I was running at like 70%. And I felt like that I was a failure. I wasn't doing a good job. I wasn't a good business partner. But it led me to my gut falling apart. Okay, Lisa, now I know I can't pull those many hours. I wish I could. Like, I really do wish I could, but I can't. All right, freaking just accept that I can't pull those hours. Now go, forget about him. Shut out the outside noise. What is it that I can possibly do? Or like, what is the most that I can do in a healthy way? Okay, so I can work a certain amount of hours. I need at least an hour before I go to bed as downtime for myself. So I started to assess all these things. Now I'm like, all right, I feel like a freaking lazy bum. My husband's just busting his ass every day. And I was like, I have to stop beating myself up over it. So what I did is I sat him down, because I would still feel guilty, even though I knew it was the right decision. So I sat Tom down and I was just honest. And I'm like, babe, I can't run at your speed. I hope that doesn't make me a less business partner, but I can't function like that. And in that moment, he turns around and he's like, I wouldn't want you to run at my speed. Like, don't you understand me? And his motivation is to be the lead of the family, and he actually wouldn't want me to outrun him. So I was actually a breath of fresh air. But then also I'm just like, look, I'm not going to be able to bring as much weight like I was a year ago. Like, I was working 14 hours a day every single freaking day. I just can't do that. So I'm going to have to say no to you sometimes. I'm going to have to put in boundaries and guidelines that sometimes you may not like, and sometimes may be worse for the business, but I have to take care of my health. And because it was my partner, he understood. Okay. Now going back to this question, when they don't have the same ambition, don't judge them. Like, why is that bad? We kind of think that we have to have massive ambition and massive drive to be valued or to be worthy. But just because your partner doesn't, that doesn't mean that they're less. Now, maybe you don't mean it like that, so I'm going to assume that you don't, because I actually get probably what you mean. So now the question is that someone you're interested in being with? Someone that isn't as ambitious? Don't judge them for it, but it is a reality that they're not. So don't try and change them. They will feel that. They will know that you're trying to change them, and they will feel worse about themselves because they're like, wow, maybe I'm not good enough. So now you have to look at how ambitious they are and say, is that something you want in a partner? Not in yourself, because you can still be as ambitious as hell. But is this something I actually want in a partner? As they are right now, today, and be honest about it. Because if it's not cool, you've got your answer, you have to move on. But making them feel badly about it, trying to make them more ambitious, is only going to literally cripple your relationship. They're going to hate the way you make them feel. They're going to feel badly about themselves because they're not as ambitious as you. But who says that ambition should be of a certain value? So that was a massive thing that I had to establish for myself, because I had to say, Lisa, just because you're not as ambitious, just because you're not as driven as Tom, that doesn't make you less of a person. That doesn't make you less valuable. That doesn't make you less of a badass. And I had to tell myself that over and over again. And so while I don't think you mean badly by this question at all, like I absolutely actually get where you're coming from. Like, I'm really ambitious and I want to be, and I just want to get excited, and I'm not as ambitious, I want to excite them. And what do I do? is probably where you're coming from. And I would just say, stop. Like, why do you feel like they have to be as ambitious as you? Do you feel like you're pulling all the weight? Do you not want that? And stop pulling all the weight, right? Like, that's in your control. Or do you want to change your perspective and go, wow, okay, I'm super ambitious. They're not, but I can get excited about being the only one that's ambitious. That, again, is up to you, how you position it. So I could keep going on. You can kind of see how I'm going in a bit of in a circle now, so I don't want to waste much of your guys' time. But that really is how I would approach it, and just be truthful. So, all right. I'm going to ask someone else to join me. Who is here? Let's do a conversation with Mirandi Savage. I think that's how I pronounce it. How to deal with your partner's insecurities. Ooh, that's such a long one. I want to get to that question, but what? What's your name, girl?
Miranda.
I was like, I didn't see the A, so I didn't want to assume, but
no, that's like my little nickname. My brother-in-law gave me that one day, and
that's so cute.
It's kind of stuck. So, first of all,
well, what up, homie?
I love you and Tom. You guys are amazing, and me and my husband watch your like relationship impact theories, and you guys are just so awesome. We so inspiring. Love you guys.
Aw, thank you, sweetie. How long you been with your husband for?
6 years at the end of this month. We've been married for 5 years.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. So yeah, my question is, how do you deal with family and friends that have like fixed or stagnant mindsets and are like particularly negative? Like, I find that like my people that I known my whole life that I used to relate to, I don't anymore, because my husband and I are on like this entrepreneurial journey, and you know, he's in commission only sales and I am too, and like just like we're crushing it, and like just like, you know, like doing the personal development thing and like just trying to be better and grow and like achieve our potential. And it's like I feel like an outsider when I like sit around at the dinner table with my family, and it's like, it's weird.
Dude, I freaking hear you. All right, so this is an awesome question. Awesome is in the question, not obviously your situation. So I do feel badly about your situation. So here's the thing. I went through so many phases, so I kind of think of this as like I experimented a bunch of things. And so initially I was just like, oh my God, I love this so much. I'm growing so much. It's going to be infectious. I'm going to sit with my family. I'm going to tell them everything I learned. They're going to freaking love it. And everyone looks at you like you're an idiot. Like everyone's like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, they're like, yeah. Okay, positive Patty, like chill out.
Exactly. You can't even, you can't even say the word growth mindset. You can't even give a feedback without someone kind of like being negative. So I went through phase one. I was so excited. I thought, oh my God, I'm going to change everybody from everything that I'm learning. My enthusiasm is going to be infectious, and it wasn't. So that was phase one. Phase two, I was like, all right, so maybe they just don't understand. I just need to explain to them. And once I explain and break it down, then they're going to get it. Okay, I'm explaining to them, and everyone's just like, just shaking their head. That's when I realized, why do I feel the need to have them either accept me or get on board? Like, why do I need those three things? And so I just stepped back and started asking myself, okay, let me break that down. Why? My dad is a perfect example. I love my dad more than life itself, but he is very old school, very traditional, very business minded, very women, have kids, stay at home, the man goes to work, very narrow minded in that sense. And so I was just like, but Dad, like, we're growing Quest, and look how amazing this business is doing, and look at like how much I'm changing and how much I'm growing. And I'm thinking he's going to see what we're doing and he's going to understand. And he just, every time I would get on the phone to him, he's like, when are you going to quit your job? When are you going to have children? And so I tried to convince him. And in that effort of then trying to convince him, I started to feel really badly about myself. And I started to walk away from conversations every time I would have a script in my head. All right, these are the words I'm going to say. This is the phrase I'm going to say it to them, you know, so they can get me, they can understand where I'm going, how I'm growing, and they're going to be on board. And it just never freaking worked. And it became, okay, I really want acceptance. Like with my dad, and I've told this to his face, like I love, my dad is that, like I always want to impress him because he was never easy to impress. He didn't want me to marry Tom. He thought I was nuts moving to America. He was like, why the hell are you starting a protein bar company? So because of that, I always tried to convince him otherwise. And in that convincing, I felt like shit. I would feel badly about myself because I wasn't able to convince him. He would still come back with things which I almost either didn't have an argument for or had an argument and didn't make a difference. And then I started to realize it is not even a hopeless battle, but every time I'm going with my dad, I'm not just sitting and accepting him for who he is. I'm not just sitting with him and bonding with him. I'm not just sitting with him to hear how he thinks. Even if I don't agree, why do I feel like I have to convince him otherwise? Why do I have to convince him to be impressed by what I'm doing? Is it because I'm so insecure with myself? Like I really had to dissect that. And over time, I just said to myself, Lisa, you're freaking proud of yourself. And I actually missed a phase. So then the next phase was I wouldn't necessarily, and I don't mean this in a hard way, but I didn't necessarily want to be around that. I didn't want to be around, like you were saying, right? You don't want to.
I don't want to go home. I don't want to visit, like, because I'm just like, I don't know how to have conversations with them because like they just like, they'll talk about other people and what other people are doing. And I'm just like, I don't know how to connect. And it's like, I want to accept them for who they are because, you know, I love them. But at the same time, I'm like, I can't be inauthentic. I can't, you know, sit and, you know, talk crap about Sally down the street who I don't know about, like, and talk about her drama. Like, and it's just like, I don't know how to connect.
Yeah, girl. Oh my God. This is so, I get every single thing you are saying right now. So I realize you have a choice, right? You can push them out of your life or never see them. All right, that's exactly how you never have to worry about dealing with those situations again. I'm guessing, though, your family is meaningful to you. Right, so if you're so right now you're in a place where you need to now figure out how you can navigate it. Okay, we've already learned you can't change them. Right? Do we agree that you can't change them? Okay, now knowing, you know exactly what you're going to get by going home. You know they're going to talk about Sally. So what do you do when they talk about poor Sally? Okay, have an action plan. And so for me, I would be like, okay, I either stay quiet, just literally stay quiet. That's them. I expect it. I know I'm never going to be able to change it. Let them just keep going with their conversation. I'm going to stay quiet. I can remove myself from the situation. Oh, I'm so sorry. I just need to go do X, Y, and Z. Whatever. You can remove yourself from that situation. Or you have the choice to argue back and say, hey, I don't want to talk about it. I'm guessing they're not going to want to hear that, though, because, again, you've already said, like, you kind of know what to expect.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not afraid to argue it now like I used to be because I wasn't a very powerful communicator. But since this whole journey with growth, like, my parents were way more powerful communicators than me. And they would maybe, like, throw something back at me if I tried to call them out on anything. And now it's like, I know what to say. And I know that, like, what they're doing is wrong. And I don't, like, and that's the thing, is like, I care about them, so that's why I say something. It's like, I don't want you to go and do that to somebody else because like I don't want you to look bad. I don't want you to feel bad. I don't want you to be in a situation where you're making an ass out of yourself, essentially. And you know, that, like, also I don't want to hear negativity, like, you know what I mean? I don't want to be a part of that.
So even with the negativity, I have said to people in my life, hey, I love you and I get this is part of you, but right now, in fact, take my mum. She didn't mean it in a bad way, but like, I have a lot of health issues, and every time I would speak to my mum, she would be like, how are you? Are you feeling okay? How's your stomach? You know, she would show pity. And I started to realize the pity she was showing me was actually being detrimental to my recovery. And so I sat her down. I said, Mum, I love you. I need you to not say this right now because this is what I'm working on. So I'm working on being positive about my health, right? And being very honest with that communication. Hey, I'm really trying to achieve this, and I would love your help in getting here. In order to get here, here are things right now I cannot discuss or talk about because I need to work through it. So for you, right, you can even say, I love you guys so much. As you know, I'm on this growth. I'm really learning. I'm loving it so much. I'm having an issue over here with this thing. And I'm actually finding that sometimes when certain words or things get said, I'm triggered, or it's quite hard for me to deal with. So I would so love for you to help me. And I get some people may not respond in a good way, but this is how I would do it to people I'm close with. I would love for you to help me get to this point. To get to this point, I need to not hear about gossip. I need to not do this or be around people that are like this. And so I just said to my mom, I need you to not show pity. I need you to stop asking me how I feel. And here's what she ended up saying to me. But that's how I show you that I love you. And you literally just said it, right? You even just said, because I care about them, I don't want to stay quiet. Yeah. And so when my mom said, I was like, that's why. For her, she is asking me every single time because she wants me to know that she cares. And so until we kind of unwound that, and then I was like, okay, right, you need to say this because you need, as a mother, to feel like you're a good mother and you're caring about me. But as a daughter, I need you to stop saying it. So how do we navigate the both? So I said, cool, I understand. You want me to hear that I'm loved. Cool, let's figure out another way that is satisfying for you to show the love and another way that is satisfying for me to receive that love. But on my end, I need you to please stop that. So what are those things right now? Pick 1 or 2 or 3 very specific things that you know your family are going to do, that you know are triggers for you, that you can have a very honest conversation. And I don't know if you have a family, like if you're able to have that type of conversation with them, but maybe even saying right now, the big thing that I'm noticing is having external negativity around me doesn't help. So what I would love to do is anytime you maybe want to gossip about someone, by all means, because that's the thing, you don't want to show judgment on them.
Right.
You want to say, by all means, if you want to talk about our neighbor, by all means, absolutely you should. But that's just something I can't really be around right now.
Okay. Yeah, that's really good advice, because like I'm wording it like that because I tend to react and just get really frustrated, and then I'm like, why do you have to be like that? Like, you're so negative, or and then it's like not received. And I'm like I know I'm doing it. And then after it's done, and then we've got our backs to each other, and it's like, we're cold shouldering each other, and it's just like not working. And I'm like, I've been dying to ask someone this question.
Yeah.
So like, yes.
Because here's what they're seeing, right? Because you're getting frustrated, and now you even said you're not afraid to actually like articulate and come back with it. And so what's happening is that they're starting to react to you reacting.
Exactly.
And they're starting to feel like you're passing judgment. And literally, the second anybody feels like they're being judged, they're going to come on the attack. Like, so the second they feel like, oh, you're high, you're coming across like you're higher than us. I hear that so often when it comes to growth mindset. Like, I hear that so often when someone's trying to develop a growth mindset, other people that do not have a growth mindset perceive them as being on their high horse. And I get it, because we pass judgment on people that do not have a growth mindset. And we've got to stop doing that, because it doesn't allow, then it becomes this friction between people that do have a growth mindset and people that don't.
Right. And then like anything that I do say, they're like, oh, I'm not going to listen to her because she's just going to judge me anyway.
Right. Exactly. They don't want advice from you. You're the last person they want to go to advice for. But the thing is, you're probably the first person they should come to advice for if you've been dealing in
honest. So I don't know. I'll get it one day.
Exactly.
We'll
so, but that's and that's the thing, right? Is that right now it's going to have to be a testing ground. You're gonna have to give yourself a year. Like, literally, you're going to have to give yourself a year, put a strategy in place and go, cool, next time I'm with my family, I'm going to try this specific strategy. I'm going to replay in my head what I think they're going to say. I'm going to come up with words that I'm going to come back with. And then you're going to do that strategy, and you're going to probably fail. It's going to be like, oh my God, I had it all planned out in my head, and then when I did it, I was a mumbling mess. That's probably going to happen. So when you walk away from that, go, cool, what worked? What didn't? How did I feel? How did they feel? And then literally every time you do that, try again, do a different strategy, put a strategy in place before you get there, try it out, come back afterwards and come up with a conclusion. Try it again. Like, that is how I got, and that's why I say it was all phases for me, because I tried one thing, it didn't work. I tried something else, I tried something else, I tried something else, and then I finally found a way to be with different people in a way that I can be me and they can be them, and we are completely different people, though we see things in a different way, but we still get along so well because I've iterated over time. So don't beat yourself up. Give yourself a time span that it's going to take probably at least a year for you to navigate this, for you to actually figure it out. Don't beat yourself up. You're going to get there in the end. And with your growth mindset, you know that you're never going to give up and you will get there in the end.
That's right. Oh, thank you so much, Lisa. I appreciate it. You have no idea. I've been dying for someone to answer this question, and I was like, it has to be her.
Well, I really hope that it was tactical for you as well, because that's like obviously going to be super important.
Thanks, Lisa. Take care.
All right, my dear. You too, sweetie. Thanks. Bye. All right, guys, thank you so much. I saw so many freaking questions come in. I absolutely love it when you guys join. I love doing these. Someone says, I love London, so explaining who is going to help, like maybe that type of workers. I'm actually not sure what that means, but I really do appreciate you guys. I really hope these bring you value. That is absolutely my intention and goal on these. I'm sad that I don't get to answer a lot of questions. I know I talk a lot. I've just accepted that about myself. I'm trying to get more succinct, but again, in fact, in real time, I'm telling you how I'm trying to improve. This is actually another strategy that I use on telling people that I recognize where I'm weak at, so I don't feel bad when I do mess up, but also letting people know where I'm trying to train, because then it pushes me to keep doing it. So I like to say things out loud. That's another strategy that I do. So I'm trying to get more succinct, but I know that I'm not. And I haven't quite decided yet if that is just, hey, Lisa, this is you and you shouldn't change it. That's a dangerous place to live in, because I don't like just saying that. So there you go. That's what I'm trying to work on right now. I'll do one last lot of shout outs to everyone: Mexico, Puerto Rico, Romania, Vancouver, Singapore, Ivory Coast, and Vienna. What up, people? Thank you for joining me. And let me know if you want me to do more of these Q&As. I'm trying to do them at least once a week. And then that's it. So until next time, people, go be the hero of your own life. Peace out.